Hello and welcome. In this video today we're going to be demonstrating all of these steps that are required when trying to do a penetration test. And just as a warning, this is strictly for educational purposes to aid anyone that is trying to gain some knowledge, some basic knowledge in how to perform a penetration test. So we're going to be using the NetLab that already has the Kali Linux system installed and all of their some targeted hosts that we could potentially try and exploit and gain root access. So to start off, we will be launching a terminal. If it's not already launched, go over here and press hit enter. It's gonna pop up a new window. So what we want to do first is we want to check our IP address. So we go down here, and this right here is our IP. This one belongs to us, to the Kali Linux. And what we want to do is to gather some information on all of the IP addresses that are live on our network. And to do that, we need to run the we can run the NetDiscover tool, which enables us to scan for all of the live hosts and IP addresses and everything. So if you're not familiar with the tool, you can just write netdiscover-help, and over here it's going to show you all the available options that you can use with this tool. And for this particular video, we're going to be running the -I, which will show us the devices in our network. So let's try that out. So after running the NetDiscover and inputting our interface in, what it's going to do now, it's going to be checking for all the live systems that are running on the network. And it's probably not going to show the Kali Linux because we're already using it. So over here we already found one of the hosts. We found three of them. Let's just wait a second to see if we can find any more. So here we found another one. So from these IP addresses, we can see that these ones belong to some of the hosts that we could potentially scan for any vulnerabilities. So after doing that, we can hit Control C to quit that action. And what we can do now is we're gonna pick one of these IP addresses, and we're gonna scan them for any vulnerabilities that we can potentially find using Nmap, which is a tool that is used for scanning vulnerabilities. And if you prefer, you can also use Zenmap, which runs the same commands as Nmap, but all you have to do is basically just input the targeted IP address and select what scan you want to be done. We can have a quick look at it. So over here you can input your target ID, and you can go over here and select any type of scan you would like to do, and you just hit scan, and it would do exactly the same thing that is done on Nmap. But for this video, we will be using Nmap. So we write Nmap -sv, and what this is, wait, what we can do first is, if you want to know some of the commands, you can just type in help, nmap-help, and it's going to show you a bunch of commands that you can use with the Nmap. Some of the commands that are available. So what we are going to use is nmap-sv, which will scan the versions of the network processors, -o, which is basically going to show us what operating systems that it's going to be running on. Followed by that, we just type in the IP address that we want to target. For this reason, for our purposes, I chose the second one that we scanned, this one right here. Scan for vulnerabilities. Let's try again. So over here we can see that we have the open ports. We have 3 open ports that are available. We have the FTP, SSH, and RPC bind. We can see the OS details that it's running in Linux. And yeah. So for the purpose, so for this one, we are going to be trying to exploit this version right here, and we could potentially try and use Nmap just for fun. We can type in the IP address. We can hit intent scan, which will show us a more detailed version of the scan. This is the command that we can also use in Nmap. So we can see over here the services and the version. We can see that on port 21 we have Pro FTPD running, we have OpenSSH Debian, and RPC bind. So now that we know that, we can potentially try and exploit this open port by simply going on the Metasploit MSF console. So we can access Metasploit, and potentially what we can do is we can search for Pro FTP D, see what we can find. So we found these possible exploits, and they are ranked. We have great, we have average, we have excellent. And so why not try the excellent? So to use it, we can copy it. You can copy the name of the exploit, type in use, and paste it down. we hit enter, and now we're already in we're already about to use the exploit. We can hit show options, and this shows us what exactly is required to run this exploit. So we just set the target host that we intend on exploiting. And we don't exactly need to set up the port. You can if you want to, but it's already set up to port 21, which is the one we are going to be exploiting. And now all we do is type in exploit to see if we can try and get into the system. So here we can see that the command shell has been opened. So that means the exploit has been successful. So if you type in who am I, so this means that we have access to the host. We can type in pwd, checking which directory we are in, type in ls-l to show us the files and folders so that we can see that are available on the host. We can even go on and type cat slash etc slash shadow if we potentially wanted to hack any of the usernames and passwords. We have over here the hash files that could be used, and we can also go a step further, further, and we can type in reboot. Before that, we can check the host when it's sleep mode, so we are going to type in reboot, see what happens. So we can see that the host machine that we have been targeted has been rebooted after hitting the command. So that means that we basically have control of it. So if you want to go a step further and to check if you are in the right host, you can type in if config to try and see. Not able to see it, but we get that. You get the idea. So this was it for our penetration test, and thank you for watching.